If you clicked on this video, chances are you want a realistic way of looking really good without having to count calories the rest of your life, or the idea of bulking and cutting just doesn't sound too appealing to you. Now, honestly, the best way to gain muscle and lose weight is to track your macros because it allows you to be as precise as possible. However, there's many times where I caught myself obsessing and caring too much, so it ended up just being more unhealthy by obsessing over it. So this is why I like to be realistic when I approach something like this, because there's gonna be times where I wanna eat out with friends or eat a cookie, but it's the principles and the systems that you put together for yourself that allow you to do this more efficiently. At the end of the day, I think most of us just wanna be able to look in the mirror, flex a little bit, and smile. Now, the first thing that I do is prioritize nutrient-dense food. I absolutely love to eat, and sometimes I question how I'm able to shove that much food in my mouth, but it's typically because I prioritize foods like fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and whole grains. And it's not a surprise that if you are eating 600 calories worth of cookies, it's probably not going to feel the same as if you're eating 600 calories worth of oatmeal. So a good rule of thumb whenever you're going grocery shopping is to spend more time in the perimeter of a store. If you've ever noticed, that's typically where the vegetables, fruits, lean meats, and all the other good stuff are, compared to the center, which is more processed, packaged foods. So the next time you go grocery shopping, see how long you spend in the perimeter compared to the center. If you spend more time in the center, we can almost assume that there's probably a cookie hiding in your pantry. The second thing that I abide by is recognizing true hunger and not just eating when I'm bored. If I notice myself going to the fridge only to find myself at the fridge again 5 minutes later, I can probably assume I'm trying to eat when I'm bored. Now, once I become aware of what I'm doing, I typically just wait until my next meal, or if I really feel like I'm gonna die, I just chug a bunch of water so that I feel satiated, and then I will eat some sort of like Greek yogurt or healthy snack that will hold me over until my next meal. One of the worst things that you can do for your progress is snacking, and I know it really hurts to say that, but most of us do it mindlessly, and I think we underestimate how much calories are in a snack. A spoonful of peanut butter is like 200 calories or something, and I could literally eat an entire jar, and so I would be looking like Humpty Dumpty. And I know that's not what you want to hear, but that's probably what you need to hear. Now, the last one for nutrition is what's called the set and forget method. Essentially, we're going to be counting the calories and protein intake for 5 or 6 different meals and then forgetting about it. I probably set my meals a couple years ago, and I've just been rotating the 5 or 6 because I like the way they taste, but I also know a general sense of how many proteins and calories I'm eating in each one. The way that I structure it is that I'll create a large list of healthy proteins, fats, and carbs, and from that list, I'll choose a couple different ingredients so that I can then create my meals. Once I create my meals, I'll then put it into my FitnessPal so that I know how many calories and proteins are in these 5 or 6 different meals, and then I'll forget about it. I won't think about it. I'll just know intuitively, okay, I took the time to count these out. I took the time to create these meals, and so I know they're healthy, and I know that they're going to help me with my long-term health. And lastly, if you're trying to put on muscle, there are so many different types and forms of exercise that you can do. I'm not going to tell you which one is right or wrong, but all of them do need to apply some form of progressive overload, or else you won't see progress long term. Progressive overload is just a fancy way of saying make the workouts harder over time, and this is typically in the format of volume and intensity. So volume is the amount of reps that you do with a given exercise, and intensity is typically measured in the amount of weights or the pounds that you're pushing or pulling with a given exercise. If you've noticed yourself kind of stalling or not making any progress, we typically need to look at the volume, how many reps you're doing, or the intensity, am I increasing the amount of weights over time? I know that applying all of these concepts at once can be a little overwhelming, so if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.